Live from Bedminster, outdoors. Unfortunately, tragically, the sun went down. We were hoping beyond hope that we could get you a picture, and I'll show you one of what is behind me. And of course, it was a gorgeous sunset. And unfortunately, we didn't get it. Or if we had gone the other way, we'd have shown you a wonderful little lake that you have to hit over in order to begin the back nine of the championship course. But we're here at Bedminster, President Trump's home, away from home, and he's not here. So we have full. We can do anything we want now. When the cat's away, the mice will play, and it looks to me like these people are getting ready to play. It's quite a beautiful place. So we decided that we would stay here because we wanted to do this outdoors, and we're going to do it. So let's begin with. I don't know if this is the worst decision made in the course of this fraudulent investigation, but it's got to be close to it in terms of a. Well, let's just say Judge Steve Jones, whoever you are. You get an F in federal civil procedure, and of course that would be not attributable to the fact that you were appointed by Barack Obama, I'm sure, because judges don't decide that way. Did you know that? Judges do not decide based on their political affiliations. I just am a genius because I can always figure out how they're going to decide 90% of the time based on that, but actually because I'm a genius. But this judge, how about the following comment about the activities of Chief of Staff Mark Meadows? I believe there were only 2 or 3 that are mentioned in the indictment. His activities in setting up appointments and telephone calls did not relate to his federal office. What the hell was it, a city office? He had only one job at the time. He was the chief of staff to the president of the United States. Last time I checked, Judge Jones, can we check if he went to law school, or is he one of these people that got waved in politically? He was an Obama appointee, and the quality of the Obama appointees is questionable. But the reality is, this is a ridiculous statement. It's a long opinion. I have not had a chance to read it, just the excerpt of it. But I just can't live with the statement. He didn't relate to his federal office. He called and set up a conversation with the Attorney General of Georgia. First of all, I can't figure out for the life of me what's criminal about that. I can't figure out what's criminal about the conversation to start with. But I can't figure out what's criminal about setting up the conversation. What the heck Meadows is being indicted for. And now we find out that Fanny or Fawny or Funny, she had a grand jury, the one that I testified in front of. They took 4 pictures with me. I signed 2 or 3 autographs. And Fanny or Funny, wanted to meet with me afterwards because I was such an effective. I was like a big prosecutor, big hero prosecutor. She wanted to meet. She met with me. Went to her office. I got that go to the prosecutor's office treatment, not knowing she was going to, double cross me and stick a knife in my back. Now I don't know. 30. I've forgotten the number. This procedure in Georgia should be another reason the whole case should be thrown out. Sounds about as unconstitutional as hell to me. You get an advisory grand jury that advises the real grand jury on who to indict. I never got to testify in front of the real grand jury. I testified against the make-believe grand jury, the first one. There may be another state that does this. I've practiced criminal law most of my life, and I guess you'd say I'm about as accomplished a federal prosecutor as you're going to find. An advisory grand jury to the grand jury. You know how many people? These are 23 people. You know how much money this causes? Cost? Do you know how many people didn't go to jail for beating the living daylights out of people, stealing money, robbing stores, and maybe even shooting people because these grand jurors were tied up? 2 different grand juries for 2.5 years on this nonsense. They heard 70 witnesses, not to indict, to write an absurd report requesting the indictment of 38 people. Now, Fanny Phony Funny picked 19. Now, I would, since I'm one of the 19 picked, I don't know where I should be honored or feel, disgraced or whatever. But the reality is, how did she decide? Did she maybe she did this? Eeny, meeny, miny, indict. Mo. Miny, meeny, meeny, indict. Boopity, doopity, scoopity, bum bum, indict. Because the indictment is worth about that much. She had Lindsey Graham on the list. I think actually he was going to be indicted for the crime of being a Republican in South Carolina, which is a RICO crime based on Fanny Phony Funny. I'm serious. I can't imagine. Well, I don't know what he did. He actually he wanted to have privileges adjudicated before he testified. Now, they didn't do that with me. I raised the privileges during the hearing. They were going to take him to a judge to adjudicate them. Since I'm a hell of a lot better lawyer than they are, all of them combined, multiplied by 5, they didn't take one to a judge. I can't imagine they couldn't find a judge that would do anything they wanted because it is a crooked city. But they never did. I mean, they just took what I gave them, and I asserted something called attorney-client privilege. Now, given what they did a few weeks ago, if I did it again, they might not respect attorney-client privilege. So Meadows has been turned down for removal. I'm going to make a prediction. This is an 80% prediction. I never make 100% predictions at all. The case is going to get reversed. I cannot see the Fifth Circuit, which is one of our better appellate courts, a respected appellate court. I don't know if Steve Jones is a respected judge. One opinion doesn't make a lousy judge. It just raises the possibility. I can't imagine that this court's going to find that Meadows wasn't acting as part of his federal office when he was doing the things asked of him by the President of the United States that related to the president's enforcing of federal law. Now, allegations of voter fraud violate federal law. The president has a constitutional obligation to enforce the law. When he does that swearing in thing, that's what he swears to do. He swears to follow the law. So if there are allegations of voter fraud that he believes are true, and I mean, you got to be a fool and to think he didn't believe these were true. You may think he was wrong. You may think he was right. I know he was right. You may think he was wrong. But if you think he didn't believe they were true, then you're drinking the communist lemonade or vodka, probably. So this is going to get reversed, I am pretty sure. Now, it does affect me, and it affects President Trump and everyone else, because if Well, I don't know if it affects the president. I don't know how he can say what the president did wasn't part of his federal office. That's all he was the president. Plus, the president has something else called immunity here that we'll see if he's the judge who gets that case. The president's lawyers wanted to wait for this decision, so I don't know how it's going to affect them. But this decision is just plain wrong, okay? Not the first time. Will I say it's corrupt? No, I won't. This is. I don't have enough to say that this judge is part of the crooked Atlantic City Democratic machine. Now, but I want you to agree with me that there is a crooked Atlantic City machine, because if you don't, you're not a well-educated American, or you're not prepared to defend our rights in America. Atlanta is a crooked city. Philadelphia is a crooked city. Detroit is a crooked city. New York is a crooked city. Believe me. Not only is it a crooked city, it may be a communist city, when I explain this to you in a minute. There are cities in America, ladies and gentlemen, that are as crooked as cities in, Ukraine and elsewhere. And there are cities in America where you might as well be living in a communist or Nazi dictatorship, because you don't have any rights if you're not a member of the proper political party. That's been true for a while. Biden has now made it true for America, for which he should never be forgiven. This is not a forgivable offense to take away American law. You don't get to do that and remain in the White House. Oh, my goodness. Now, I did mention the thing about Adams. Well, there's a communist in City Hall in New York. I don't mean like you make. I'm just saying that. The woman's name is Winnie Greco. She's 61 years old. She makes $100,000 working for the city of New York, but she's also a consultant to a group that is associated with, which means part of the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. It's called the Chinese People Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries. Now, what do you think a Chinese People's Association for Friendship with Foreign Countries is about? Friendship? Or would you say spying? If you say spying, you can be in my class. If you say friendship, please go to one of those dumb Democrat schools where they teach you that there are 35 genders and stuff like that, and can't define women. I take no students who cannot define women, because then you're just too stupid to be a student. This organization has close ties to the CCP. And this, of course, was taking place contemporaneously with the Chinese operating their own police station in Adams, New York, and in which they would go out and terrorize people who were considering giving information about China, and would try very, very hard to kidnap them and bring them back to China so they could put them in jail, torture them, take their organs, whatever wonderful thing they do in Adams communist China. So not only has this guy imposed on us 100,000 migrants that we didn't want, only he wanted, and is now whining about it when he's the cause of it, but he's also has a communist right next to him. I don't know, sounds like Biden. I don't know why they don't get along. They both are very, very well tied into China. Maybe Adams is jealous that Biden made a lot more money than he made on it. This is outrageous, and the woman should be gone tomorrow. This country wants to destroy us. This country kills 70,000 of us a year through fentanyl. This country has helped to kill 1 million of us with COVID. And Adams has a communist on his staff. Get him the hell out. And by the way, there are plenty of Chinese coming in across that border. So we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to have Dr. Maria with us. And we're going to go into where things stand right now with the American people and their view of Biden, Trump, the whole thing. And we'll talk a little about what it's like here. I think you might like a little color commentary. We'll be. Towers Foundation delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us. Heroes who risked their lives to keep our communities and our country safe. Heroes like United States Marine Corps Captain and pilot John Jeremy Sachs. Captain Sachs sustained fatal injuries when his military aircraft crashed during training, killing him and 5 other service members. He's remembered by loved ones as courageous, brilliant, and devoted to his career, family, and friends. John is survived by his wife, Amber, who gave birth to their second daughter 3 months after his death. Tunnel to Towers paid the mortgage on the family home for Amber and their 2 daughters. The foundation has helped over 1,000 military and first responder families navigate the worst of times by removing the burden of a mortgage payment. Our nation's heroes and their families need your help now more than ever. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. T2T.org. That's T, the number 2T.org. T2T.org. Please donate now.
Better? Can you hear the mayor better?
How is that? Does that work better?
Hold on, I gotta put it back in.
You got to unplug this.
Volume.
Here, you get those for me.
Okay.
I'll get these for me.
And we're good.
Okay.
Back on.
Hi,
Are we
Mayor.
back? Well, welcome back. I'm messing around with my fruits,
Balance of nature.
and Dr. Maria is messing
Look at
around.
the veggie.
She's messing around with my veggies. I already had a little dinner. I had squash soup, so I already had some veggies in a way, right?
Yes.
But like I tell you all the time, right? I don't know how often I tell you this. Here, Ted, take this one. As I tell you all the time, you can never have enough vegetables, correct, Doctor?
That is very true.
So I had a few vegetables already today, but now I'm going to make sure I have my necessary amount. This is, what's the right word for it? I always get it wrong. These are condensed, right?
Yeah, they're condensed. It's a really unique process where they take lots of vegetables or lots of fruit, dehydrate it, get it into powder form, and then put it in a capsule. So it's extremely good for you. And I don't normally say that. I'm always suspicious of any kind of pill. Like, I'm always like, we got to take things in the natural form.
Have one.
But this is really, really good substitute. And you're lucky because you're one of Rudy's audience. If you call now, get your order and say code Rudy, you get 35% off your first order.
Do you have to say promo code or can you say just code?
I don't know if the promo code, say Rudy. I'm sure
Look,
if you're ordering
I'm taking
online.
I'm taking care of the doctor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, doctor.
I'm pretty good about vegetables, but I have to tell you, I don't really like fruit. Am I a crazy person?
Well, maybe
like,
you should
people
take.
usually like fruit, but don't like vegetables.
Maybe you should double your fruit.
Maybe.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of doubling my veggies because I'm not as I double both, but I'm not that good with my with vegetables. Much better with fruit. I even like the color of the bottle better. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they should make this a better color. What do you think?
I don't know.
No, actually, I love
It
this.
is really important for your fruits. I'm not kidding. This is a
Wait,
serious subject.
And wait until I'm finished with this bottle. I'm gonna make these into the nicest Christmas tree ornaments you ever saw. And you know,
colors.
who's gonna do it for me?
Ah,
Because she's good at that.
yes.
Well, let's do a little light stuff for a minute.
Okay.
So tell people a little about tell people a little bit about Bedminster and the Trump golf course and really the whole Trump. It is really like you'd almost describe this as a Trump experience.
Everything about any one of Trump's properties is a Trump experience. Bedminster, right here in New Jersey, it's great. The people are incredible. Not just the staff, but the people who come here are a lot of fun. Beautifully, impeccably manicured, of course, golf course. But the food is fantastic. I just heard a gentleman at the next table ordering Trump cookies. Well, it doesn't say Trump cookies on the menu, but they're this big, thick chocolate chip
I made a
cookies.
mistake last night.
Oh my God, they are so good. But it is really nice. And I have to say, the golf course in Washington, I've golfed there as well. And I like
Historic.
that one, very historic. I like that a lot. But one of my favorites is in Scotland.
Oh,
Aberdeen, Scotland. And what I liked about it is everywhere in Scotland you went, they would give you a dram. They still do their measurements in apothecary like we used to many, many years ago in the United States. So it's a dram. So you go into a store, they're going to give you a little dram of scotch to drink. On the golf course, freezing, because you're on an island and these great ocean views, but it's cold. So they'll come out with this dram of scotch and you get to drink it. But I had a great time at that golf course. I am nowhere like the great golfer as Trump is, Giuliani is. I just have fun. I just really have fun on the golf course.
she's much better than she says. She is only lacks practice and consistency.
I did good in Scotland, but it could have been the Scotch.
And every once in a while, she'll hit the ball a mile. Oh,
So the
for a woman, and I hate to say this, don't get angry at me, anyone.
Okay.
For a woman, she hits the ball a mile.
So I have a unique thing. I started golfing in early 90s, I think. And I got in a car accident where I had a broken neck and I have a donor bone, graft, plate, all that stuff in my neck. I'm a right-hand dominant.
That's okay.
I'm a right-hand dominant person. Sorry, I got the mayor all wet with my water. After the surgery, I had a weak left side, so I couldn't hold the golf club up very well like this. So I golf left, and but everything else I do righty. I go the batting cages, I bat right, but golfing I golf left, and I lost some of the strength I used to be able to drive at. But it is fun. I don't know if you like to golf. I also like to bowl. I was on a bowling league.
Me too.
Oh, you were?
I have a bowling trophy from high school.
Now, do you do the candle pins? Right? Yeah. No, the big balls. You do the big ball. What's it look about?
The regular golf, the regular ones.
Well, I have to say,
I only know one. I don't know
being
little
from
ones.
New England, I only knew about the candle pin balls.
What's that?
You know, they're smaller balls.
I never.
You don't put your whole fingers in them. So I go
I'm
down.
sorry. I always use the big ball.
Okay. So in my neck of the woods, it was mainly what's called candle pin bowling. So I go down south. I'm an executive in a hospital in Virginia, and a group of employees want to go bowling. So it's these big balls. I never did it before, and you got to put your fingers in. So I was trying to explain that I've only done candlepin bowling. They couldn't comprehend it. They said, "Is that like skeet ball?" No, it's not skeet ball. But anyways,
What?
who is it hot?
So
You're
I want
Lord.
to ask the. I want
Yes.
to ask. I want to ask all of you and the doctor this. So according to Mahmoud Abbas,
Okay. Can I just say something, Rudy? We love you, Getter, but we're having a terrible time tonight with sound, and we always want good quality. So please go on Rudy's Rumble channel, YouTube, Twitter, whatever. You probably don't want Twitter, but go to his YouTube channel or Rumble. I know you're probably more Rumble, but we have to shut you off. It's not working tonight.
Yeah, the sound is off. We're going to cut it off early, but we want to give people a few minutes to tune in on a different network.
Excellent.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Rudolph.
I am surprised. I don't know why that's the case.
Well, we
So-
got some a fountain right behind us. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know.
Oh.
I can't. All right,
I mean,
you were
we
going
can
to ask
keep it
a
on. We
question.
can keep it on and have people
Yeah.
clear through it.
keep it on if they
Okay.
want to. All right.
All right, we'll keep it on.
I just don't think we should make that decision for them.
Okay.
Okay. I'll just put it right back
Okay.
there, and I'll talk as loud as possible. But I want to tell you about Mahmoud Mahmoud Abbas. And I want to tell you that because the New York Post today printed an article about it, which was a sellout. Yesterday, they printed an excellent editorial in which they pointed out what Abbas really said. Today, they printed a euphemistic little teeny article that basically said that Hitler attacked the Jews for social reasons. Well, that's pretty bad, but that isn't what he said. What Abbas, who is I believe now a complete thoroughgoing Nazi, said the following.
Bad dude.
Said the following: European Jews are not Semites. Now, where does he get to define European Jews? They have nothing to do with Semitism. He cited the Khazar hypothesis, which speculates that Ashkenazi Jews, those are European Jews, aren't descended from the Holy Land, hailing instead from the medieval Tartar kingdom. This is the noted historian and homicidal maniac and terrorist, Mr. Abbas, that I think Obama kisses when he sees him. And they want to make him the head of the Palestinian Authority. Biden does, a separate country, when they spend their time in their schools teaching people how to kill Jews and hate Americans.
Yeah, this is true. This is such a bad decision. And I'm telling you, Obama's name comes up a lot. He is the most protected person because he's behind the bad policies of the Biden administration. He did so much damage.
And promulgation of Nazis like this.
Yep, he did so much damage in his own administration. But people were so afraid. And I'm going to be blunt here because he was our first black president. To me, I don't
Remember
care.
Saturday Night Live? Saturday Night Live couldn't make fun of him.
Yeah.
They were like...
I don't care whether you're black, white, purple. I really don't.
Well, they're racist.
I'm all about integrity, quality, experience. Anybody can learn if you want to learn. I promoted people based on their abilities and their drive. I could care less what the people look like. But Obama is a bad news.
Dr. Maria, if you cannot criticize a black person on the same basis you criticize a white person, you know what you are? You're a racist.
Amen.
Now, I'm going to read you a little more about Mr. Abbas, the anti-Semitic, Hitler-loving a guy who Biden wants to give a country to. Europeans fought against these people because of their role in society. So they cut it off now with just that. Here's the rest of the sentence, which the Post didn't publish the rest of today. Now, credit the Post for publishing it at all.
Yeah.
The other lying, dishonest, corrupt media sources don't publish it at all. The reason was because the Jews had to do with usury and money, which is the classic anti-Semitic trope, right?
That's right. That's right.
Even Hitler, he added, Hitler said he fought the Jews because they were dealing with usury and money. Yeah. Hitler decided he was going to kill every Jew that ever lived because of usury and money. He had a final solution for the Jewish people, to remove them from the face of the earth because of usury and money.
Disgusting.
And for decades, Abbas and Fatah, his group Fatah, have been described as moderates. Now, Fatah is responsible for killing at least 27 Americans. So take the moderates and shove it up your communist backside. Now, please,
of our lifetime.
New York Post, you disappoint me enough on the calumnies and lies you tell about Trump.
But sometimes lies about you.
Yeah. Will you stop this crap? Stop this crap.
I had so much respect for the New York Post when they took the laptop, investigated it, verified it, and went forward with it.
You know how
they
often
took a risk.
You know how often when they tell the history of it, they point out that I gave it to them one time.
Really? Miranda Devine.
Oh, Miranda does it all the time.
Yeah.
But the New York Post?
Yeah.
It's as if it came from heaven. It came to the New York Post.
It came to the
New York Post.
Here comes the laptop.
Oh, here's the laptop. The New York Post should be greatly credited with the laptop, but not Rudy Giuliani, because they would not have the laptop if it wasn't for me, Bob Costello, and Mac Isaacs.
Yeah.
No laptop, New York Post.
Miranda Devine.
And by the way,
is
you didn't want to publish
spectacular.
it originally. Don't try to bullshit. You didn't want to publish it originally. It took Miranda Devine and a few other people. It took Miranda Devine and a few other people to get you to do it. It took us 5 days to do it, and you were checking it out. Like hell, you were checking it out. You were checking whether you have a pair of. And your friends at the Wall Street Journal, they went hiding under a rock.
What happened to the Wall Street Journal? This was, to me, one of the most respected business papers in the world. And then they got involved with being, I hate the word, woke.
And
Sometimes
international.
they're really good, but
International.
then they pull back for any hard subject. We can't be like that. Leaders take a critical look at hard subjects. You comment on it if you're opinion people like us, but if you're in the role of making things better, you got to dive in, even if it's uncomfortable.
They hate Trump because of his position on trade, because they know better than the rest of the world on trade. They also write the most vicious things about him, and and now, you know, they have fallen apart with DeSantis. The guy's fallen below 2-3 other people now.
Yeah.
I mean, DeSantis is headed for the ash heap, really.
You know, he's a great governor. Great governor. And it just doesn't seem like it's his time.
How about, doesn't seem like he belongs in the big leagues? How about we try that?
Maybe.
I never thought he could camp. What did I tell you about his
campaign? You did.
What
say
did I
it
tell
right
you from the beginning of the
You
campaign?
did.
The guy's not going to make it because he doesn't know how to campaign.
Yep.
He doesn't have it.
Yep.
Mr. DeSantis, will you just realize you do not have it? You don't know how to do it. Is it a question of style? Is it a question of substance?
I don't know.
It's so bad
What
in
do you
your
think?
case, it's a question of substance.
You know, I live in New Hampshire, and I
this-
have all these people that were so fascinated with Vivek Ramaswamy. But now, after the debates, very interesting. Those same people who are Vivek are looking towards Burgum.
I thought they were looking at Haley,
Well, Haley too. Haley,
the person who runs out on every job she has.
yeah, Iowa. She's really strong in Iowa.
I wouldn't support her.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Before the election, she might drop out.
There's a lot of angry
She
people
might get tired.
in the last administration who
Ooh,
said,
I don't want this anymore.
why did she quit when she quit?
Because she's a opportunist, where America is here and Haley's here. That's why. Want the answer? That's the answer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, you think politicians are good people?
Well,
I only
you
did it because
were.
I had to. You think
were.
my father told me I should never be a politician. He probably was wise. He said they're all crooks. Now they're not all crooks. There are a couple that are not.
Right.
But I'm starting to find out they're the exception. And I'm not saying she's a crook. By a crook, I mean they're dishonest. They're only about themselves. They'll lie like
We
crazy.
have a lot of those. May I please speak to your audience in California, specifically San Francisco?
Please,
Do you like walking past drug addicts with needles coming out of their arms? You like walking over excrement, which is poo-poo, human waste, new diseases that we thought were eradicated coming about? Then go ahead and vote for Nancy Pelosi again. You have a chance to make a difference.
What a
As
bunch of jerks.
did my brethren in Chicago. You got rid of that crazy Lightfoot, and what did you do? You voted in someone more radical.
And you have more crime now.
And you have more crime. So people, don't be armchair complainers. Don't say, I would have done this differently. I would have done that. Get involved. It's so easy to go vote. Already, you know what it is. Months in advance, ask for that day off or to go in late to work that day or change your schedule, anything. But go vote. And if you have the time, be a poll watcher. because there's a lot of shenanigans that go on at our polls nowadays.
So let me bring you up to date on some things that you're not going to see in the communist press in America, which is 80% of it. You're not going to see that Mr. Shokin, my friend, I consider him a friend,
You did a lot for him. You
has
saved
been
his
completely exonerated in the sense that the false stories that the vicious, perverted Biden family told about him, that he was removed for corruption, have now been proven to be totally wrong. Reports have been found with the European Commission and several other European agencies that he actually was credited with turning around corruption and the corruption investigations in Ukraine, and was removed at the height of his pursuit of Burisma.
Yep.
Now, it always has been a massive lie covered up by the communist press, because Biden immediately said that Shokin was removed because he wouldn't pursue cases and was crooked. Right in the newspapers in Ukraine, on February 2nd of 2016, are major stories about how Shokin had raided the Burisma offices and closed them down.
Yeah.
A complete contradiction of what Biden said. Do you know that was never published in America?
Wow.
Now these reports have been put out.
Where can people find them?
Well, this you can find in the Post. You should get your own copy, because this is the one you spilled the water on.
Sorry.
Is it right?
New
Is it
York
right?
Post.
New York Post. Right
You
here.
could probably read it online, right?
Yeah, you can
have
get it
the
online.
digital.
You can read it online. This will be in a few other newspapers that are American, but the more Russian communist newspapers like the Times and the Washington Post, you'll never find that Shokin has been found, contrary to the lies of the perverted Biden crime family, that he was not corrupt, that he was removed for one single reason, and that is so they could fix the Burisma
That's
case.
right, to protect Hunter in his businesses.
And just in case this is not enough, Poroshenko is on record, on tape, telling that to Biden directly.
Yeah. There's so much
you
evidence.
can hear it.
Remember the fake impeachments against Donald Trump? Paper thin evidence of anything, right? The FBI knew there wasn't any Russian collusion. It was all such a sham. There's so much evidence, but there's still some Republicans saying not enough evidence.
Well,
I'm confused.
Here's an interesting headline. Somewhere around 2/3 of the American people now believe that Joe's a crook.
Show that. Can we show this?
So this is not a good copy, but it's 61% involved, 38% not involved.
Joe Sinostra.
That's a good one.
So the poll was 61% involved, 68%, 38% not involved, 69% believes that his business in Ukraine and China was illegal, and 29% believe it was unethical but not illegal. So you put that together, and almost everybody thinks it was wrong.
Yeah.
So I consider this quite an accomplishment, not just for me personally.
I agree.
But for me and my colleagues, because we had to do this. We had to do this against the backdrop
The
of being
iron wall of
being
censorship.
sent. I could never get an article in the Times, the Post. I could never get on NBC, CBS, ABC, CNBC, CNN, MSNBC.
Yeah,
I could never get on any of them. So people there never heard this. So this comes about from listening to Newsmax,
Yeah.
to some extent,
Rudy
the
Giuliani
Fox,
show.
listening to Rudy Giuliani show,
Uncovering the truth on
uncovering the
Sundays.
truth on WABC.
No, you're right. And I was going to make that comment. I think I've mentioned this
This is the
before.
place to watch the news.
Yes, certainly I've mentioned this on our radio show, but my dad will flip channels and he says, if you watch only MSNBC or CNN, you would never know that we're having an invasion at the southern border. Do you know that made me feel terrible for the American people, that they don't know what's happening with their sovereign nation?
You see the 69% that says illegal?
Yes.
That means we're getting through.
Yes,
because they're not finding that out.
Yes, it's amazing.
They're not finding that out from the communist
It is
main
amazing.
newspaper. The 61% say he's corrupt,
Yeah.
and 38%
Well, how did he become
still
a
refuse to believe it.
multi-millionaire as a public servant? Come on. At least Pelosi can say her husband made the money. But with Biden, he was the only one working. I don't know. It's so crazy.
Well,
So, Rudolph, to Ted, your right-hand man here and producer of America's Mayor Live, he filled in for you last night. And I was reading comments on Facebook and some other the social media, and y'all, you missed Rudy. I did see those comments, but you thought Ted did a great. Thank you, Ted, for filling in.
Thank you, Dr. Maria. That's very kind of you to say. And should see a little ratings bump, right? A little dip from yesterday.
not much.
We can.
Not much. We were well into the hundreds of thousands, and
Well, we're going to take a short break, and I think.
Well, thank you.
Is that?
No, I'm glad because I'm looking for something.
It's good timing.
I'm looking for something on one of my favorite people,
Okay.
which I'll tell you when you come back.
The year is 2022. Cancel culture is the new normal. Online freedom as we know it has ended. Digital stockades are here. All activity is monitored, stored, and predictively analyzed by a technological cartel. We're being converted into a digital resource, a digital currency to be farmed for metadata and loaded into a computerized combine, blockchained to a social engineering operating system. However, it doesn't have to be this way. Be part of a new technological revolution. Right now, 1,000 test pilots have launched themselves into a new digital frontier, a private network outside of big tech control. New technology with state-of-the-art digital engagement and never-done-before security and privacy features that are now operational. With Quick's digital engagement, entertainment, communication, and commercial exchange will never be the same. We are QUX. Quicks. Advanced pre-release sales are limited to 3,000. Order now by visiting quicks.tv. Get yours now before they sell out. Be part of a brand new online experience that you control.
Do
Back on.
9/11 and not
Back
my
on.
people.
Well, welcome back, everybody. As the days tick by here, Monday is September 11th, the worst terrorist attack on our soil. Terrible. I'm a New Hampshire resident. Every day, multiple times a day, I almost got tears in my eyes. I would turn on the television to see Mayor Rudolph Giuliani because I just felt he would tell the truth to the people, what was happening, and he would update us, and he offered encouragement to everybody. Thank you for that.
So now you will see numerous people who had nothing to do with September 11 offering valid and invalid opinions about something they know very little about. But you won't
on
see me.
Fox News, for whatever reason, won't have Rudy on. They've always had him on for 9/11, especially.
Yeah, I here's why I find it. Look, I did what I did, and I'm proud of it. And
You should be.
you're not going to take that away from me.
Right.
Screw you. However, you're just not telling history correctly. You are warping history just the way the left wing creeps do
I'm
Fox.
so glad you brought that up. I am amazed. I sit next to a historical figure every Sunday, and then when you allow me to be a guest on America's Mayor Live, it's crazy, right? We read books about Abraham Lincoln, Frederick Douglass, our founding fathers. I get to sit next to you. People get to learn from you every day. No lie. Hand on a Bible. You tell me something new. I'm like, you were involved in that too?
I mean, some wacko reporter was on one of the communist CNN or MSNBC today. I used to represent him in his libel cases, which will give you some idea. And he said that my role with RICO was exaggerated. Well, I have no idea if it was or it wasn't, because I never wrote anything about my role in RICO. They did.
Oh, I wish I knew that guy's name.
They did.
Yeah, we were very disappointed. Greta Van Susteren really didn't do a good segment at all.
Oh no, she did. She did the segment on the stipulation that I entered in Georgia.
Oh yeah,
in which she had the creepy lawyer
I'm
say
sorry,
that I
but
admitted that I
yes,
lied.
Yes, sorry.
And she never contradicted him.
It was Michael Daly who did the stupid
But if
thing.
you want to read the stipulation says right in it that I'm not admitting anything at all. Now, she's supposed to be super lawyer Greta. Super lawyer Greta didn't read the papers. When my super lawyers didn't read the papers, Greta, I fired them.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got the cases mixed up. It was Michael Daly, right, Ted? Michael Daly, who, what? Come on.
You don't even know who he is. I don't
knows.
know why you had to say his name, because nobody knows who the hell he is. But he claims that my involvement with RICO is myth. I don't even bother to even. Somebody told me that. I won't look at it. I won't read it. And I just feel sorry for the guy, because I know he has personal problems. Now, Greta, I really am
I'm sick of
angry
people
at,
with personal
because she
problems.
claims to be a lawyer. I'm a lawyer, a great lawyer.
Should she
Hey,
do
great
that
lawyer.
like that?
Hey, great lawyer. Why don't you read the damn stipulation? And the guy you had on was lying. He was lying about me. And I'm tired of people lying about me. And I'm tired of not calling people out who let them do it. So, great lawyer, you owe me an apology. And if you don't do it, don't do it. I don't really want you to. I don't really want you to. You people are so sloppy. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But I did not admit that I was lying.
Nope.
And and you know what a stipulation is, a great lawyer. It was a stipulation so that we could move on to the other part of the case. Otherwise, I would have gone to trial in Atlanta in front of a jury that would have found me guilty before the case started.
Was it going to be in front of D.C., Lord?
No, D.C. I'm even wrong. I'm even worse. It's even worse. It would have been in D.C. So now I can appeal, and I can try to establish that it was opinion, that it wasn't defamatory, that it wasn't, and that there are no damages, because damages have already been paid.
I've always felt for American citizens who told me, and now from you too, that there are certain courts that are corrupt. And we've seen our government corrupt, right? This is the worst administration we've ever had. But to know our courts and some of our judges, we definitely know the DAs. If you were bought and paid for Soros, forget about it. If you're from the same loin as a Black Panther, and you want to kill cops, forget about it. But to know judges and courts are corrupt, I think because I'm in radio broadcasting, it's really tilted the scales where people are like, now we're done for it. When they have our
DC
courts,
is ideologically, in Atlanta, the courts are politically corrupt, like in New York. But in DC, the courts are ideologically corrupt, and they've gotten themselves into almost a Trump derangement syndrome over January 6th. Whatever you think of January 6th, it was not an insurrection.
No,
it was not 9/11.
It was
not the Civil War. It did not attempt to take over our government. If you want to be calm, cool, and collected, it interrupted our government for 3 or 4 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah.
It did no permanent damage.
No.
The people killed were all Trump people, including people who have been killed and their murderers have gone free.
Yeah. Biggest misinformation there was that 5 police officers died. No police officers died that day. One died the next day of a medical
And the New York
issue.
Times just completely lied about it.
Yeah.
So
But anyways.
so now we're in New Jersey, so I have to mention.
Oh.
I have to mention
I
the
can
guy.
imagine.
The guy who left office with the lowest ratings of any governor in modern times in New Jersey. I mentioned that to you because he wants to be president, which I think is an interesting thing. In other words, he's going to say, I had the lowest ratings in New Jersey as a governor. Therefore, you should make me president because I can have even lower ratings than Biden.
What is this? Seriously, what is this platform? You and I are very
Trump is
political.
terrible.
And his platform is, I have Trump derangement syndrome, and I just hate him for hating him. I'm now with you, the people that hate him. I'm your savior. But really, what's your platform? Are you going to
No, he's concerned for
help
Trump.
us with that border?
His latest quote is he's concerned about Trump's mental health.
Well, great. Worry about that in your own time.
Because Trump.
Tell me what you're going to do about this damn
because
economy.
Trump called him a slob. He said
that
he was.
Wasn't nice.
He said he's sloppy.
Well, that's not nice.
And he says that he's a crazed lunatic.
All right, that kind of made me chuckle a little bit.
He's not. Now, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
You know, we're good friends, and
Yes.
I don't want to. Have you ever eaten with Christie?
No.
Then how do you have it? How do you know whether he's a slob or not?
You're right. I don't know.
Want to ask me?
Okay. All right. Let me
Not
ask
only
you
have
formally.
not only have I
formally.
eaten next to him, I sat
I'm
next
not-
to him.
Okay.
I sat next to him during a debate preparation, which he's good all over
Slobbered
me.
you?
And then he went to the hospital for COVID
COVID?
after that. How do you think I felt?
Oh man.
Well,
He slobbered all over you. That's pretty gross. I know a lot of people who do that.
is that projection when he says Trump's what do you call him, a crazed lunatic?
Well, no,
No,
Trump
called
called him a
called-
crazed lunatic.
Trump called Christie that.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Come on, Christie. But I can't. You know,
He kind of came off that way in the debate, didn't he?
I thought so, but I mean, crazed lunatic. Probably our friend shouldn't have said that. However, slob and sloppy are just opinions, and if you've had the misfortune of eating with him, you might have that opinion.
Well,
Also, if you had to pay the bill, you might feel.
well on a happier note,
If you had to pay the bill for his food, I mean, that would be.
on a happier note,
Yes.
of course, we're here at Bedminster, which I consider the best club in the Northeast. And earlier, Mayor and Dr. Maria, I captured a double rainbow. A double rainbow here at Bedminster. Maybe we can play the video.
Let's do it.
Maybe a nice video here as we start to close out the
Let's
week,
do
but
it.
we'll be right back.
Yeah, we get all of the rainbow.
I'll just have vanilla ice cream.
No, cookies and ice cream. We're back on, guys.
We are back. We're ordering food for after.
All right, I want vanilla ice cream.
It's a vanilla
I want a
ice
Trump
cream.
cookie.
We're
And
so
a
we're
Trump
here at
cookie. Well, you better have a Trump
we're
cookie
here
with
at
vanilla ice cream.
Bedminster, and the
They'll
great
say
staff here, second to
imitating
none.
Biden. You're imitating Biden
We're getting our order in
with
because
vanilla ice cream. So on Monday, I think the
Here we
last
go.
politician comes out by Franklin Foyer, who is a liberal and is was a Biden voter, I believe, and a Biden supporter. So,
Make sure we get a cookie.
but he does have questions there, like he's an Oval Office baby, that he is extremely mean to his staff.
I've always heard that, even when he was VP. It's
That the good guy, he's a nice guy. It's the biggest
Yeah,
bunch of
it's
garbage
just- yeah.
imaginable.
Yeah.
You have to realize that what he did with his granddaughter.
Yeah.
No good guy.
Nope.
And Jill has to be quite a piece of work too,
Yeah.
in putting out 6
It's cruel.
stockings,
It's actually cruel.
but not one for the other kid. I mean, it should got to be a pretty.
I think all
I can't see a woman doing that. I can't see a nice woman doing that.
we're in trouble, people, but we got to act. We got to stay together. Those people in California, look, Pelosi, Feinstein, what are they doing for you? What are they doing for you? Kentucky, Mitch McConnell, really? He's not fit for the job.
He points out one speech that Biden gave in which he ended it by saying Putin should be overthrown.
That's makes him a
Putin,
leader?
Putin has the second or the most nuclear weapons in the world, and is we think stable, but we're not sure.
Yeah.
I don't think you call for his overthrow unless you can do it.
Yeah.
You don't call for his overthrow as a throwaway political line unless you shouldn't be president of the United States.
Yes, Ted?
A question for the doctor and the mayor. Is it fair to hit someone on age alone?
I don't think it is on age alone because there's wisdom in age, but it's all about capability. So Dianne Feinstein, Mitch McConnell are not capable. Maybe Pelosi is, but Pelosi's been corrupt, right? There's all kinds of allegations about insider trading.
She's
not been truthful. Like, you deserve better. San Francisco, what has she done for you?
Father, forgive
Zip.
me. Can I do a Pelosi confession?
Okay. Did you date her?
No, no. God forbid.
Okay.
I only date
She's
people
too
with.
old for you.
I only date people with mostly natural human parts.
Okay. All right.
I do not date people that don't have a single remaining human part left on their face. Now, you be the priest. I'm going to
Okay.
be Nancy Pelosi.
Okay. Name of the Father, Son, Holy
Father-
Spirit, amen. Yes.
Father, forgive me,
Yes, my dear.
for I have sinned. I gave my husband $200,000 worth of insider information, and he turned it into about a $30 million profit for us. It was completely unethical, and I just want to be forgiven for it.
Well, Nancy, say,
And I do it, Father, I do it all the time.
say 10 Hail Marys,
And give the church a contribution.
10 Our Fathers, and you're forgiven. But the American people may not forgive you.
No,
Well-
you're supposed to.
Oh, well,
You-
yeah, what would the priest say?
So the priest would say,
Contribute, give me some money?
not the priest I know. Some priests.
not the priest
Some
I
priests
know
would say,
either.
you got to give 10% to the church, but a good priest would say you have to have a firm commitment to never do it again. So
Right,
Nancy, I'm not
right.
going to give you absolution unless you tell me you and your husband who trade on this inside information aren't going to do it again. And I mean, she probably lied.
How can Nancy and or Joe receive communion? They both say they're Catholic, and they both say it's okay to murder a child in the womb. How can they get communion? Rudolph Giuliani.
I do. And I agree with and permit early term abortion. I believe it's a compromise that's necessary. Am I correct as a Catholic? No. Do I think that has to be?
I'm never talking to you again.
Well, I know.
No, I'm not.
But that has to be I believe in a democracy, a necessary compromise. First 3 months. After that, no abortion.
That's a political thing to say and or do.
But this is politics. I mean, this is
Okay.
America is a political enterprise.
It's
not a religious
political-
enterprise.
But nothing will ever convince me it's okay to murder a
But
child.
you don't have to be convinced. But somebody else has a different view.
I know.
And
let
therefore,
them have a different view. I don't care.
Well, but doesn't it have to be respected?
Yeah, I
But
respect
you're telling
that.
them they can't have an abortion,
No,
right? You're in a democracy. Yeah, this is not the Holy Roman Empire. This is a democracy.
which I'm a direct descendant. I'm royalty here.
So I have always felt that a compromise was necessary. At one point, I thought it could even go much further. Now they convinced me not to go any when they did the 8, 9, and 10
Oh,
month
it's so gross.
garbage.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can I just correct something? You said that I'm telling people what to do. I have law in my state. Someone can get an abortion to 24 weeks, I guess. I'm not really sure, but it's early. I never protested. I never tried to change that law. I respect what that law is. I totally disagree.
Well,
So,
you're not far. You're not far from what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, thank you for having me on. Are you? Would you like me to stay any more? It's 9
no,
o'clock.
I'd like you to go now.
Okay.
No, I'd like you to stay.
Okay.
We're having a good time here, and
All
we have
right.
a few more minutes of soccer time. We'll take
Okay.
advantage of a little soccer time.
I just want the people to know how much I love them, that I'm sitting on a very wet cushion for you.
Okay, well, we're going to stay just for a short while. We're going to stay just for a short
Oh
while.
no, I've been sitting
And
on
we,
this
of course,
for a
want
while
to
now.
thank everyone.
Did I show everyone a picture of Mayor Adams, communist?
No, I don't think you did.
Yeah.
Greco, right? Is her name?
Here's a picture of the communist.
This is so true, people. There's substations in New York and other cities as well, spying, especially on Chinese people. They want to get something on you. They want to threaten if you have people back in the mainland. They want to threaten those people, and they try to get you to spy.
Why do you, they keep saying that Biden put some of the classified material that he stole in China. In China.
I know it sounds so funny, but also
where in China? Like in a restaurant?
I don't know. We should follow up on that, though, Rudolph. We should really try to find out where in China.
Can you get them as like one from column A, and then in column B you get it classified?
I don't know.
You get a chicken chow mein and a and a Chinese.
Get it from the menu.
You get chicken chow mein and a Hunter Biden
Crab
stolen.
ragout and,
Hunter Biden, Joe Biden stolen Chinese secret memo.
Well, the Penn Biden Center at what is it? University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, paid for it's paid for by the
It's
Chinese,
paid
by the communists.
Communist Chinese Party. If you didn't know, so did somebody tell him to bring certain documents there and just leave them with inadequate
Chinese would never
security?
do that. And when the Chinese found
it's so
out,
suspect.
and when the Chinese found out that the documents were there, you don't think they would go look at them, do you? No, not the Chinese communists. And if they found out that they were sitting next to Hunter Biden's, that stupid car they had, and they were sitting next there for about a year, you think they'd ask Hunter to pick up a few for them? I mean, he wasn't doing anything else for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
What did I tell you when Biden was thinking about running? He hadn't announced yet. I announced on my radio show, no way Biden can run because he can't pass a background check. He's compromised by the communist Chinese.
interesting. Would he get it? Would he get a security clearance?
Yeah, right.
You know, if he did, if they're capable of doing an investigation that I can do, they would find out that he was taking bribes.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be hard. A lot of people, all they'd have to do is go to Ukraine and walk around the streets. They all know he's
They
taking bribes.
all talk about Biden.
I mean, they think we're crazy.
Yeah.
Like that we're struggling with this.
Yeah.
Like you stupid people can't figure out that nobody's given Hunter Biden $31 million. And then you take a look at $31 million goes to the Biden crime family. Here's the way you find out if there's a bribe or not. What could the money be for, logically? What do they have that's worth $31 million? His office.
Yeah.
His office.
Yep.
That's what they have for $31 million. Please don't be stupid. Don't join the stupid. We got too many. Join the intelligent. You have a much better life if you're intelligent. You make better choices. You have more fun. You deal with illnesses and everything else better. You don't get yourself all messed up with vaccines you don't need. You know, if you're intelligent. Look at Mrs. Biden. Now, she has how many times? First of all, how many vaccines does she have? 40, 50?
No.
I thought I saw her arm like shrinking.
I don't know.
No, I really did. I thought I saw her arm shrinking a little because they couldn't find a place to put the vaccines anymore. So she's had COVID now, we know, 3 times.
Yeah.
Is that a record?
I don't know if it's a record.
Since she's had
There's
every
different variants,
since
but
she has
yeah.
had every booster known to man.
We know it doesn't prevent you from getting it or transmitting it. So I don't know why anyone would take an experimental drug that doesn't fit the definition of vaccine, nor had it been ever used on human beings before. This is gene therapy. Anyways.
Well, wait. If you get every booster known to man,
Yeah.
and you get it 3 times,
Yeah.
do you come to the conclusions that the boosters are bullshit?
Yeah. Well, if you're intelligent.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think if you got the booster, if you got every booster imaginable and you got the disease 3 times. Now, I had the disease once. I've had no vaccine, no booster, and I never got it again. I haven't had it 3 times. You haven't had it at all. You've had no.
I have not.
You've had no.
And some people
like
might
my
say,
son.
Yep.
My son is like me. He had
COVID, right?
He had COVID one time.
Yep.
Never took a shot. Never took a booster, and he has had it 3 times. Like Doctor Booster.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a booster queen.
And I used to check. So a cynic may say, well, you could have had it and been asymptomatic. True. But typically, if you're asymptomatic, you're not spreading it either, which was another piece of misinformation. They used to say, well, you could be spreading it when you don't have symptoms. That's not true.
Could we call it lie?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I used to test myself to see if I had antibodies.
Oh, right. Me too.
So,
You used to test me.
So I never had COVID.
And you have no antibodies.
And I have no antibodies to it. No. And if I get it, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'll be okay. I don't.
Everybody's
get
okay
it,
now
but
with it. I mean, and we want to, and he wants to go back to the boosters and the masks, and now I don't know what Fauci's current position is on masks. I mean,
he changes it all the time. I think now he says you don't need it. I don't know.
You sure?
He was on some show recently that made headlines because the headline was he's reversed positions again.
But we don't.
I don't really know.
It doesn't convey anything to say that Fauci has reversed positions.
Yeah.
Because you have to know which position he reversed.
Yeah.
But did he reverse the position on multiple masks where you have to wear 3 or 4?
I don't.
That's a good. Where is he now on masks? Isn't it coming up again?
Yeah.
I know COVID's coming back at some. Well, I mean, it's coming back.
Yeah. There's a new variant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I had said way back in the pandemic, what'll end up happening is it'll circulate during flu season, like the H1N1 pandemic in 2010. Now, sometimes we see it seasonally.
I see.
Yeah.
But if it comes back as a regular, another one of these things.
Yeah, it's pretty weak
do we have to have Fauci show up again? Because
no.
I think he scares people. He looks like a rat.
No. So
and he scares people.
Senator Rand Paul has made a criminal recommendation to the DOJ of lying to Congress, and I'm not sure what else.
I'm not saying you have to stay with
With this DOJ, I don't suspect it'll go far. But Fauci's a bad guy.
No. And it was better. I mean, there is one exception that should be made about masks. He should be required to wear a mask because he's so damn ugly.
I knew you were going to say that.
With that,
thank you for having me on, Mayor.
Well, we're going to be back together. The good doctor and I are going to be back together again at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Yes, don't forget.
On that wonderful radio station, WABCradio.com, a testament to free speech.
Yes.
And we will be dealing with several topics and getting to the bottom of them, and we'll be getting you the information you don't get, like we did today, like the information on Abbas being the second coming of Hitler. You're not going to hear that anywhere else. Even the Post has begun to, ratchet it down. They must have heard from somebody. I know how this works, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to hear about the fact that Shokin. The reports were put out, of which there are many, that he was completely exonerated.
Yeah.
And they framed him in much the same way they are framing Donald Trump and me.
Yep.
This is what they do, and this is what they're allowed to do because of the corrupt press. Well, you'll hear that from us. You'll get information you need to have as a responsible American citizen, not just from us, but from people like us. So, WABCradio.com. 10 o'clock. And then, of course, RudyGiulianiCS.com for all my podcasts. And then right here next week,
And your radio show.
my radio show,
Monday
again,
through Friday. 3 p.m.
WABCRadio.com at 3. And then America's Mayor Live at 8 on your favorite platform. Twitter gets the most, I have to say. And we love you. And we're going to pray all weekend for our city. And we are going to say together, God bless America. Our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained, by rational principles, the reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country that has taken more people out of poverty than any country ever. All of us are so fortunate to be Americans. But a great deal of the reason for America's constant ability to self-improve is because we're able to reason, we're able to talk, we're able to analyze. We are able to apply our God-given common sense. So let's do it.